We invited this group especially because we know almost all of you come from out of town, and we wanted to have a chance to make dinner, to have you meet others, get acquainted. And I've done some mixing, and I can see you're all busy talking to the people you've met, and it's great. You all know everybody near you, I suppose, and I was planning on pointing out people, but it's just too hard to do. But that's my wife. You know, Lisa's an unusual person. I'll just tell you a brief story, if you don't mind. Everyone thinks that, you know, she laughs a lot and she's very pretty and she's just an actress and stuff like that. But, you know, she's really a very special person. She's my daughter, of course, our daughter. She was about a week old when her grandparents, my parents and Bonnie's parents, came from New York to Boston to see what we had produced. Her mother, I have to describe her mother, God bless her, of course they're all gone. Her mother, Bonnie's mother, her grandmother was, I guess you could describe her as cautiously outspoken. Light on the cautious. So she looked at her and said, you know, I bring home a chicken that weighs more than 6 pounds. Well, it took her about 10 seconds to fall in love with her, maybe 5 seconds. And that love lasted her whole life. It was a special relationship with that grandmother. Going on a long time later, her grandmother suddenly, now at 94, was stricken with an illness that clearly was going to be fatal. We called Lisa and told her, and she's a busy person. She cleared her schedule and she flew to New Jersey where we were, came to her grandmother's bedside, sat down next to her grandmother, held her hand, and talked to her. I don't know what she said. I don't know what her grandmother said, because her grandmother was lucid, but in her last hours. I don't know what she said. But when Bonnie and I were exhausted, and we went home, we said, we got to get some sleep. Come on. She said, no, I'm staying. And she stayed in that chair. And we came back in the morning, and she was still sitting in the same chair, her head against the bed rail, asleep, but still holding her grandmother's hand. She's a very nice person. Look, now, I might tell you another story, but if you see that I'm stabbed with a vegetable knife, you know I shouldn't have told this one.
Don't worry about these knives.
There's a time I was with Bonnie Schwartz's husband, he and I, and we went to a store, one of those big box hardware stores, like you know, I don't know what they're called, Home Depot, but it was Rickles. Rickles was a store in one of the early ones. Anyway, he and I needed a very complex tool to buy, and I was in charge of Lisa that day. I was a wonderful babysitter. So we went to, and we're looking at this tool, this complex tool. I think it was a screwdriver. I don't know what it was. Even a screwdriver we probably couldn't figure out how to use. But we look at this tool, and Lisa was toilet trained early. She understood what's going on, and she's very determined. And she was very, very sure of herself when it came to that. She was about 2.5, maybe 3 most. Anyway, she started pulling at my leg and said, "Daddy, I have to go potty." Okay. We're just going to finish examining this tool. "Daddy, I have to go potty." Yeah, okay. After a while, she stopped saying it and disappeared for a few minutes and came back. I said, "Daddy, I made a poop in the toilet, and it didn't flush. And there was no paper." Well, the display of toilets is only about 10 feet away. So I sent Bonnie's husband, I said, See what happened? He went over, he lifted the lid, put it down, quietly went back and said, "We've got to get out of here." Anyway, that's the prize.
Still trying to change.
You got a good deal, Robert.